Yo, what's up guys? Today we're gonna talk about the M416 Burn. And also I have updated my spreadsheet and I added to the accessories tab. We got other builds and we also got the M416 Burn. I will provide the link for this spreadsheet in the description. So the weapon is really simple, 20% chance to trigger burn on a hit and burn damage plus 10%. If you take a look at the keyword, you will do 12% PSI as a status damage up to 5 stacks and damage will not decay over the distance. So as long as you can hit the target in the distance, you will do the same burn damage. If you burn the target from really far away, you will do the same status damage in the close range. And for the armor pieces, we are going with 3 Savior, 1 Tide and 1 Shelter with barbecue gloves. And for the mods, we are going with Burning Wraith. This is gonna give you more chance to trigger burn stacks. Just to spoil, we're gonna have so much fire rate, so we're gonna trigger burn a lot. This will make more sense later and we're gonna get stacks which gonna do damage over time since keyword does damage for like 5 seconds. And for the armor mods, we are going with the Deviation Expert. This is gonna give you fire rate and status damage which we really need for this weapon. And for the top, I have made a guide about the battle mod. Feel free to check that out if you want to learn about each mod. But basically go with either Enduring or Resist. Those two works better in open PvP. And for the bottom, you can either go with Elemental Resonance or you can go with the Life Force, which I highly recommend going for the Life Force. This will do more damage, but it's kind of situational. And for the shoes, of course, we are going with the Covered Advance. This is gonna give you weapon and status damage for 30 seconds when you just take no damage for 4 seconds. And for the gloves, we are going with the Elemental Overload because you're gonna understand with the substrat what I'm about to explain. And for the mask, go with the Blaze Amplifier. This is gonna give you more PSI. More PSI equal more status damage means more burn damage. For the substat, you have to focus on the status damage and the elemental damage and burn damage. For the weapon mod and the mass mod, you need to get the Suffice Burn. This is better than the regular elemental damage because this considered as a different multiplier. So you can have burn damage and blaze damage and you can have one of the reductions and you're gonna do way more damage than one single elemental mods. We only can have 2 Suffice mod, so try to get the best suffix mods as possible. So you need to focus on the suffix which gonna include the burn and the blaze damage, and you're gonna focus on the status damage and the blaze elemental damage. So you have to balance all of the multipliers equally instead of focusing on the one multiplier. For the suffix, you can only have 12% burn damage. For status damage and elemental damage, try to balance these out, and you also need reductions. Try to get mods like these for every single GS. Just get your weapon damage reduction and status reduction around 40% and you will be tanky enough. Next, we're gonna talk about the accessories. We don't care about the stability or the range. The recoil in this weapon is really easy to control, and since burn don't decay with the distance, we don't care about the range, we only need the accuracy. We are going with the large break. This is gonna give you accuracy, cost of stability. And for the optics, we are going with the complete reflex sight. This is gonna give you stability and aiming speed. The huge thing is aiming speed matters for this weapon in the long range. And for the tactics, we are going with the tactical laser sight. This is gonna give you aiming speed and accuracy. And for the mag, we are going with the extended mag. This is gonna give you more magazine capacity. And for the ammo, try to go with the gold ammo. This is gonna give you more PSI intensity, which means you will do more burn damage at the cost of base damage. And for the calibration, we are going with the rapid and double elemental. Elemental gonna give you more burn damage, and the fire rate matters because we're gonna proc more burn. And for the foot buff, we are going with the safety sandwich, and we are going with the starter 2D. Sandwich gonna give you 20% minus damage from the other enemies, and starter's gonna give you movement speed. And for the drink, we are going with the iced tea, and we can use the whimsical drink, which gonna increase your status damage. And for the cradle, we are going with the anti-void. This is gonna give you 15% more damage, and we are going with the rapid air, tactical combo, status enhancement. When you summon the deviant and recall it, and you're gonna have a shield which gonna give you 10% more into the weapon and status reduction. And we are going with the elemental sense, and next we are going with the blazing. This gonna give you burn damage 25%. We can put one more, so we are going with the bingo as a secondary. If you ask why we use bingo for everything, because when you switch to the bingo, the first bullet you hit, you're gonna mark the enemy and they're gonna take 8% more damage. If you hit them with the bingo and then switch to the M4, and then you're gonna do more burn damage because they are vulnerable. So in that case, we are going with the anti-pace. That's it for the today video guys. Thanks for watching and peace out.